I wanted to show Subsonic. It's a little media streaming web server. It runs on Java, so you can run it on pretty much any operating system. I have it running on my FreeNAS server. I'm accessing it on its web interface right now on my desktop. What you do is you give it a directory of music, and it reads through the metadata and the album art and shows it to you in your browser in a nice, pretty way. And you can also stream the music. It can also take advantage of, it can stream MP3s out of the box. It can also take advantage of transcoders. So what I did was I compiled FFmpeg for FreeBSD, and I gave it support for pretty much all the codecs I could. So as obviously it can output to MP3, but it can also input from FLAC. So if you want uncompressed, really high quality audio, you could play that as well. Pretty much you can play anything in the browser. So and it can also do video. So I have it also be able to transcode like MKVs down to Flash to stream in your browser. So if you want to run it on FreeNAS, I have a plugin. If you search the FreeNAS 8 forums, I have a Subsonic plugin with FFmpeg and everything already set up for you. I have it 64-bit right now ready. So if you want to do that, I recommend you use that method because it's 2 clicks to get it installed. Anyway, yeah, I've just been testing now. I added some music on here, and I just want to show it off a bit. So say you click an album. Yeah, you can click an album. You can play it. You can, so for example, click the play button. It plays in a little Flash plugin. Sorry if that's loud. It plays in Flash. So this is the way you play it on your desktop. You could also play video this way too, and it makes this big flash thing in the middle. It looks like YouTube, but it's a little. You can tell it's a little bit different. You can also press plus on stuff, and it starts adding it to your queue. So you can see you have a queue now. You could save this as a playlist. So you can create playlists this way. You can also save your playlist. So here you'd have this. So the advantage of this is you can have, this is a playlist obviously, just made it this time, but you could rename it. So you can make playlists like workout playlists or relaxing playlists, and then you could play those anytime you wanted, and you don't have to have your media in all different places. You don't have to have different playlists on different devices like your phone or your tablet or your laptop. So you just have it all on your server, all your media files. You could have a huge amount of media files if you have a server with a lot of space, and then you just stream it that way. So that's the browser. Let me show you. So obviously, let me show you another way you could do it. This is XBMC. So I have a couple home theaters in my house that all run XBMC. Just an embedded, like it's an embedded Linux build. So you basically go directly into XBMC. You can check my other videos to see it, but I found if you just Google search XBMC Subsonic, there's a plugin. It's not in the repository, so you have to install the zip file, but this is just showing it on my desktop, but you can also run this obviously if you had like a dedicated XBMC box. So you go over this, press C, go to add-on settings, and you can edit the settings for to connect to your server. You know, your username, password, and everything. Let's click here so you can see all my different albums. I noticed the Subsonic plugin XBMC takes a good 2 seconds to start. And that was like 3. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Works pretty well. Let me show you. Also, you have the same playlist obviously everywhere, so it's the same playlist I had earlier. Play that instead. Yeah, I think I want to stop. Yeah. So it works on XBMC, and I'm excited to set that up around the house so I can stream my music in pretty much any room I want without having my phone there on my laptop. Okay, finally, this is the main way I'm going to probably use this, is on Android. I am filming for my Galaxy S3 right now, so I can't exactly show it, but I'll show it on my setup on my Nexus 7 here. So here's the little widget that the came with. Oh. Okay, I got a text. So let me get rid of that so you guys don't see it. Alright, so here's the little widget it comes with. You can obviously click play. It's similar to the Google Play, widget. The crappy part, it doesn't have the little play buttons on the notification bar, but that's not a huge deal. I mean, you can just open the app and change it. Anyway, let me just show you around the app real quick. Click here, you can show what's currently playing. You click the home button. Okay, so let me just show these settings, and I'll just talk about some of the settings. You can add multiple servers, so I have 2 servers set up right now, but I don't want to show those too much. max bitrate Wi-Fi, put that unlimited. Max bitrate mobile. Now, if this was on my phone, what I would do is change this to 128 kilobits per second, or whatever you. If you have really crappy data, then you might want to do 64 kilobit. The audio might not sound as well, but it'll stream better. It'll buffer less. And I'll show you all the ways that it actually avoids buffering. And this app is really well written and this app is actually, the Android app is actually created directly from, it's the guy who wrote the actual Subsonic, so that's why it's so integrated so well. And he's a good developer, obviously. A lot of these things work flawlessly. So yeah, change the mobile bitrate, and what that does is it asks for a different bitrate file from the server, and the server uses its transcoder, which is FFmpeg in this case, transcodes that file to a lower bitrate, and then sends the lower bitrate file. So without even having to cache it on your server. I mean, that might actually help, but your device would cache it, which is even better. So what that does is it makes it so you don't waste as much data, and there's less chance of buffering while you're out and about, streaming your music over 3G. Sorry, my screen went off. Okay, so what I did was I set my cache location as my external SD card. This is on my Galaxy S3. And then I set my cache size to 10 gigs because I have a 16 gig card. So basically I could store a large percentage of my music collection on just my Galaxy S3 and just stream it that way. Songs to preload, I also recommend change that to unlimited and just limit the amount of songs to preload from just the cache size. So what that does is if you choose a playlist, for example, or you choose to play a whole album, it'll preload like 3 of them by default. But it's better to just preload the whole album. I mean, you might as well if you're going to play the whole thing anyway. So let me just show you playing something. So let me pick this guy, this album, click here. So now what I can do is I can select all. That's kind of blurry. Let me see if I can get it to focus. I checked one. I can select them all. I can click play now. That's the middle option. Sorry if it's really blurry. It's really blurry right now. Or you can play it last. So what that does is it adds it to your playlist. So I'll just play now. What that does is it creates a playlist with whatever you have checked. I only checked one. So yeah, click that button and that shows the playlist. Yeah. And what you can see is, you see that little yellow dot? What that means is it is now cached. So what you'll see first is you'll see a green arrow pointing down. I'm on local Wi-Fi, so it downloads it quickly. But what that means is it's downloading the song. And it'll start streaming immediately, but obviously it might buffer if it's not fully downloaded if you get to the part. And then once it's fully downloaded, it does the yellow star, which means it's cached locally on your machine. And you can also, but that could get deleted eventually. So say you keep playing other music, eventually that song won't be used very often, and it'll just get deleted out of your cache. So what's cool is the Android app really takes care of the caching for you. You don't have to worry too much about buffering as long as you play, as long as you set your cache size as large and it starts caching the music that you play most often and the playlist that you want to choose. And let me show you another feature. So let's show this mixtape. So you can click one and then you can go on the bottom here and click pin. And what that does is you can see it's down arrow, right? It's downloading the file, and then it's a green star. That means it fully downloaded the file to my device, and it's pinned, so it's not going to get deleted from the cache. It's going to stay in the cache because it's the green star. So what that means is pretty much anytime I play this on my device, I don't have to buffer it at all. It's completely already downloaded. It's immediate. It's basically local playback. So yeah, basically that's the Subsonic Android app. You can see it's pretty awesome. I showed some of the settings that you would want to do in a phone or something. Yeah, overall the combination of the app and the actual plugin just makes managing your music so good that I'm really excited to start playing my music this way instead of using YouTube or Pandora or any of those things. They still have their place. I think Pandora is a good way to find music, and YouTube's a good way to just play some random song out of the blue. But to manage your music collection, if you want to start, making a music collection, then this is the best way I've ever seen anyone able to manage it. So I really recommend Subsonic, and yeah, it's a really awesome plugin. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys later.